Alright, so what are we doing today? Well, this is the current media PC that's in our living room, right? And I'm going to downgrade my parents' media PC because they don't need a 3600 and they don't need a 2070 Super, right? What I'm going to do then is put the other spare parts I have, which is going to be a 1500X, so still a very good CPU. We're going to be using a whole different motherboard as well. It's all set up over there. I'll bring it back when we're done with this. But it's going to be a 1500X, same amount of RAM, but we're using different RAM sticks instead of these here, because this is going to be for this specific build that I'm going to repurpose in another case. And I'm either going to have a 1050 Ti or a 1660 Ti for their GPU. I really haven't decided which route I'm going to go. The 1050 Ti would be more than enough to handle whatever they need to do. But I'm also leaning towards like a 1660 Ti if, I ever have to like do some Outriders momoing on the secondary PC and I don't want it to be in my room creating a fucking heat mess, then that's when the 1660 Ti would be a little bit more serviceable just because the outside TV is 4K. And we have our trusty iFixit kit. Can't go anywhere without our trusty iFixit kit. We're not going to be using too much of what this kit entails because it does entail a lot. But one of my favorite additions is this magnetic mat, where you can, if I wanted to, I could label the screws, but I'm not going to because that's kind of pointless what we're doing. But I'll be putting all my screws here just so I don't lose track of them. This is actually super fucking useful and kind of like the MVP as well. Anyways, we're gonna get started. We're actually gonna be taking apart the GPU first, or just unplugging the GPU. But yeah, if you guys have any questions and stuff, just let me know. If not, I'm gonna get started. Oh, bro, you see my hand here? I don't know if you can see it. Like yesterday, I cut myself somehow because I dropped off my parents at the airport, and then I went to Shake Shack, and then I was I was on the phone at Shake Shack, and for some reason, a phone that was in my hand, this fucking phone, right? Surprised no damage happened. Literally fell out of my hands, and I looked like a complete idiot, like fumbling with my phone to eventually just drop it on the fucking cement out of nowhere. There was like a few people there, but I picked it up, and other than the case getting damaged a little bit, like this shit's prime. No screen protector or anything, so I think I just got extremely lucky that it took a good bounce. But I digress. That was that was not the experience. And fucking fuck Shake Shack too, bruh. Like honestly, I ordered to go, and the motherfuckers took the order for here. So I was sitting out there in the cold rain for like 20 minutes before I was like, yo, can you guys check on my food real quick? And they're like, oh, did you not want it for here? I'm like, no, I didn't want it for here. The whole reason I'm out here in the rain is because I got it to go. What a fucking stupid question to ask. Anyways, I was mauling. But look how useful this is. Do you see this? Look at this. Oh, law and order when building PCs, man. It is needed. You know how you normally put like the GPU and the graphics card first, or sorry, the graphics card in the computer build last? Well, on Blade. This time we're actually taking it out first, so we can take out everything else. We won't be removing the CPU or the cooler or anything, or the RAM. They're all going to stay in this motherboard because we're going to be doing a full motherboard swap. Um, yeah, I thought that was funny. We're doing the reverse process. But yeah, boss, we're repurposing old hardware. I don't like trashing old hardware. It's e-waste. Fuck that, you know? Ugh! You guys want to take a quick close look at this 2070 Super? I might have to dust it out, but take a nice little look at this beautiful card. No RGB, just, your plain Jane card. And RIP EVGA, they are no longer in service for graphics cards, for, well, just graphics card in general. They terminated the contract, which is a shame because EVGA has had one of the best like warranties and one of the best looking cards and best performing cards um, in the market. And like owning like an EVGA card feels like you're owning like a relic of the past kind of thing. I think the 1660 no, the 1660 Ti is Gigabyte, but yeah, this is my one and only EVGA card. Um, I think I also had nope, yeah, this is my one and only EVGA card. I've actually never used their cards, but this is well, okay, it's lies this one. Um, but yeah, these are a beauty. No backplate on this one, just a pretty plain 2070 Super, but that's all it needs to be, right? The performance of this card is pretty damn nice. It matches that of the 3060 Ti, minus minus the new generation benefits of upgrading to the 3000 series with DLSS 2.5 and stuff. This gets DLSS 2, but it's more efficient on the 3000 series. But then you have DLSS 3 on the 4000 gen, and that shit's just like fucking awesome. But yeah, this is the 2070 Super. It's a nice little card, or large card actually. I'm gonna put it aside here. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the 24 pin here. And then we also have to take out 4 pins back there. God, those are going to be, or the 8 pin back there, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Taking out this 24 pin is going to be a pain in the ass. They actually got it in there really nicely. But, never fear. There it is. We might end up just taking the fan out so I can get more wiggle space here if we can't get it out in the next few tries. Just kidding. Our grip strength is unmatched. And just going to take out some of the ports down here. We're just basically undoing surgery, you know? And then also this speaker coming out, which is going to be a pain in the ass to remove because they're always a pain in the ass to remove. Maybe I'll upload this to YouTube. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a really shitty quality, but whatever. All right. What were we doing? We're removing the screws. Let me get myself some light here. Chilling. How's it going? Chilling as well. Let me check my heart rate. Okay, not bad, not bad. I've always wanted to use this, and I think this is the time. This is a little extender. So you just, one second, sorry, you just attach it like so, right? And then you put the end of the screw bit here, and it's to get down to those screws that are slightly harder to reach. Kind of ingenious, the folks at iFixit. That's 2. Okay, we don't have to use this long dangly thing anymore. Thank you, long dangly thing. Thank you for your service, my dude. Tabs up though, cause kind of getting hungry. That's good, my man. Enjoy. Yeah, I like having good cable management. I'll show you guys the. Actually, hold on. Before I take this out, well, after I take, well, okay, here, I'll show you the back side of it as well. Ugh. I don't know if you can see it too clearly. You know what? Fuck it. It's not going to kill us to put this upside down. We already took most of the cables out. I mean, it's not like the back side's that bad either, right? Pretty clean backside as well, you know? Doesn't have to be perfect, but should at least make it serviceable. So when you go back and work on it like I am right now, taking everything apart, all I gotta do is snip some cable ties and that's pretty much it. And it all just comes out. Anyways, back to unscrewing the motherboard. All the screws are out, so we're just gonna take this out. This cable's in the way. There we go. And just like that, well, hold on. Just like that, this 24 pin is also in the way. There we go. Oh my god, we did it. Nice. The CPU cooler actually makes it a lot easier to work with as well. We're going to bring the other chassis in here that I'm going to be dropping into this chassis, okay? All right. We'll no longer be using this case. This is a really old NZXT case. We're basically going to be doing the same surgery, but this time we're going to be taking everything that's in this case, except for the power supply, into the case we just took everything out of. Hope you guys are still following. And we will still be reusing this CPU cooler, which I think I'll actually have to go outside and air blow because it ain't look pretty. This case is so dirty. Oh my god. This case is so dirty, bro. You guys want to see how dirty this GPU is? Oh man. Oh, hold on. Oh god. Every fucking NZXT case has one of these. It's fucking annoying ass bracket. No one cares for it in NZXT style. Right. All right, this is the state of what you don't want your parts to look like. You see the amount of dust here? Look at the amount of dust here. And that's what you don't want to see. If that's what your shit looks like, go dust it, which I will be doing in just a little bit. Now, one thing I don't know if you guys have noticed, um, but do you see I have two RAM sticks here, right? But you see that they are different RAM sticks, right? I don't know if you can tell. But one of the RAM sticks is a Corsair RAM stick, and the other RAM stick is just some generic RAM stick. These are still 8 gigs and 8 gigs DDR4. Now, no matter what you've heard, you can mix and match RAM. Okay, mixing and matching RAM is completely fine as long as they are the same, like 8 gigabytes, and 8 gigabytes, right? Don't be mixing and matching like 8 and 4, 8 and 16. You want them in the same capacity. Um, the only downside to doing this is it's gonna run at the slowest speed of both of these RAMs. And this is quite dusty, boys. Woo! It is it's quite dusty indeed. All right, I'm gonna quickly go outside and dust this off on my electric air blower, and I'll show you what that looks like there before I go out real quick. Here's the leaf blower, the electric one, where you just plug it into a wall and then you just everything. We will be wearing a facial mask. How do I look? What's up, boys? We are back. I'm gonna go lock the door. Going back to dismantling everything again. Your next 24 pin. Smell you later, bitch. All right, and just like before, we are going to be undoing all the screws here. Before we do the motherboard swap here, I'm going to put the other case back up here because we're just going to slap on the motherboard here. But first, we have to take out the old I/O shield so we can put the new I/O shield in. Just like that. And the I/O shield is basically this. We'll be reusing it. It's just a nice little bracket you put on to the back part of your case. It's like that, right here. The reason we take out this specific I/O shield is every motherboard has a different I/O shield. If you get a motherboard that's like in the higher tier bracket of price, they actually come with this attached, which is a lot more easier because you don't have to mess with this fucking piece of shit. This piece of shit is annoying as fuck. All right, here's the I/O shield from the other case that we're going to be popping in here now. Nobody likes the I/O shield, guys. Tap if you're a fan of the I/O shield. You know what? I'm about to not even give a fuck about this I/O shield and say, fuck it, bro. Oh my god, we got it in. Holla fucking Luya, boys, we did it. We're never taking this I/O shield out ever again. Well, actually, wait. Before we actually, wait. Thinking. I think before we pop it in, we do have to take out this fan. Release and screw it for now. And put it back on with the Corsair screw. So yeah, either way, we're gonna have to take this out. You guys want to say hi to Momo real quick? Momo, come here. Come here real quick. Oh. So cute. Close up of Momo's butt. Oh, you guys like that? Momo's butt in 4K. Okay, I'll put him down. All right. We're going to be installing our 2 sticks of RAM. Now, we already covered why we are using different brands. Nothing's going to happen. Everything is going to be fine. They're just going to run at the slowest frequency. Installing RAM is extremely easy. You have a longer side of the RAM, which is here, and a shorter side of the RAM, which is here. Make sure if Your case has these little clicky tabs. Sometimes they have it on both sides. Sometimes they only have it one. Make sure you undo the clippy ties so you can put the RAM in, and you know the RAM's seated in when you just push it down with force and both sides click on its own. Look at your motherboard manual to see which two slots to install it on if you have two of the same DIMMs, or in my case, same different. So they're at least running in dual channel. Okay, on this motherboard, it's slot A2 and B2. Um, some motherboards it could be A1, B1. If you have two sticks, if you have two sticks of RAM and they're touching each other like this in your motherboard in your RAM layout, you need to check your motherboard manual, see which ones are dual rank, and then switch it to the dual rank. So you're not missing out on performance. Anyways, like I said, I'm just gonna install it in. You can only go in one way, and then when you put enough pressure, you can see that both sides flipped in. There you go, RAM installed. Oh no. Nice. We got one threaded in. We got two threaded in. What I'm talking about. This is our 950 Pro. We just got a heatsink on the bad boy. So, should be good. I don't know if the thermal pad is still sticky enough, but hopefully those rubber contacts will help. Installing these are super easy. Newer boards actually come with like auto latch-ons, but otherwise you just have a tiny ass screw. Nah, Wolverine. Mo being an annoying little boy right now. He's got the zoomies, but he's cute. So he gets away with it. Yeah, installing an NVMe SSD is that easy. We got one thing to plug in, two things to plug in actually. One is the HD audio, which is basically this cable here, but that's basically your onboard audio. Honestly, for this build, we actually won't even be using the onboard audio, so maybe I don't even plug it in. Because my parents are going to be using the HDMI on the graphics card, and that's just where it plugs in. But you know what? There's no harm in not plugging it in, so we'll just disable it via software and enable it when needed. There we go. Next, NCXE makes this really easy with their front panel headers. Where is it? This little bit here. It's just all the front panel connectors. Usually you plug them in one by one, but this part's a lot simpler. Alright, now we gotta worry about the rest of the fan cables. Nice. We got all the fans plugged in. Nothing really to mess with here anymore. And now we're just gonna go ahead and put the power supply in. And then that's it. Just like that. Power supply is installed. And now we're just plugging the cables. But here, this is the 1660 Ti, and I'll show you guys the 1050 Ti. This is the 1050 Ti. It's an MSI model. Kind of matches the build thematically, but this one also has a little bit of a GPU sat. I'll probably just go with the 1660 Ti because it honestly just looks better in the build. Installing a graphics card is super easy, guys. You're always going to want to install it on the very upper part here because it's your PCIe Gen 3 or Gen 4, Gen 5 slot, whatever motherboard you have. And you want to make sure that this bracket here, I don't know if you can see it, there's a bracket on the side. It's kind of hard to see here. It's this here. Just push it down. That basically releases it. So when we put the graphic card in, similar to the RAM, once you get it in there snug, it should just snap right back there in place. Just like that. And it's installed. Just going to screw the sides. Plug her in. She's ready to boot. So I'm pretty glad I put the thermal pad on the SSD because it's the NVMe SSD is directly underneath the GPU. I mean, they really pick probably no, they really did pick just the worst place to put it. I guess you guys can see the back part of it. You know, necessarily decent. I don't think it has to be any more than what it is back here. So let's give you guys one more aerial view of the finished product. There she is. Fully rebuilt and repurposed. Alright, there it is. Here we go. It turned on! That's good! It lights up! Well, it lit up for a second. It's doing its boot, it's doing its boot. Look at that GPU light up. Roar! Roar for me. Oh, look at that! We're in, boys! Alright, that's it. We're done with this one. If you guys like this content, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And consider hitting that notification bell icon. You can always catch me on my stream where we did all of this at twitch.tv/PlatoBear. Until the next one, peace.